Well, it's Friday. Thank God it's Friday, and today is the last Friday in the month of March 2020. Thank you very much for joining us this morning on the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM. This is the flow of God's own state, and it is the last official workday of the week, and of course, the last edition of the program, The Platform, for this week on Flow 94.9 FM. It is the pinnacle of all discussions. The programs comes on per radio every Monday, every Wednesday, and also every Friday. Now, today we're taking a look at the responsibility of the government as lockdown looms. Some persons still do not believe that COVID-19 is real, but I need to let you know that it is very, very, very real. My name is Michael Oni. Excuse me. Joining me on the conversation this morning, my guests are they are very much seated in the studio, and they smiled when I coughed. I can't cough in peace. It's okay. Promise Uzoma is the media aide to the Abia State Speaker, the Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Chinedum Oji, and also he's a journalist, publisher of PUO reports, and he's very much here as we dissect the topic for today: responsibility of the government, both the state government and federal government, as lockdown looms. Good morning to you, Promise.
Well, very good morning to you, Michael Oni. You know, when you released those droplets from your mouth, of course, it's very important that I become very cautious, because the government has asked us to maintain social distancing. But unfortunately, I'm in the studio, so you can't just cough out anyhow. That's the policy now. All right.
Emenike Rebu is very much here. He's also a journalist, a publisher of AFN News, and also a public affairs analyst. Good to have you join us this morning in the studio.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator Oni. You know, person cannot just cough in peace these days again.
Well, it's good to have you join us.
I thank you for having me in your studio this morning, and listeners, thank you for joining us.
All right, let's begin. As Nigeria prepares for an imminent lockdown, it's inevitable that many of our brothers and sisters are not ready. No, they are not, because many are still saying, well, there is nothing like COVID-19. The unpreparedness of our people is due to the direct lack of resources that could lead to more devastating impact than COVID-19 itself. So our focus this morning is on the survival of our great people, as Nigerians, and also our people here in Abia State, as we break it down. Responsibility of the government as the lockdown looms. It is in times like this that a credible and effective government shows itself at all levels. And the question will be, where are all those leaders and their empowerment programs? It is now that the bags of rice, hand sanitizers, gloves, and face masks for everyone in our community are needed. Now, I will begin with you, Emenike. What do you think should be the responsibility of our government now? The lockdown looms, and as it stands now, it looks like we are not prepared.
Okay, I want to start by telling everybody that is listening to me, and those that believe and those that don't believe, that the COVID-19 pandemic is real. It is real. People are dying in thousands all over the world. I mean, thousands of people are dying. This is the only time you will hear that the people are analyzing the number of deaths. After a very long period of time, you'll be hearing people, 1,000 people die in a day, 500 people die in a day. So it is real. And remember also, it's important, I'll let you know that even in Nigeria here also, somebody have died already. So COVID-19 is real. To the part of the government, of course, so much is expected from the government, because when you choose to lead the people, you have chosen to carry the burden of the people. You have chosen to protect the people. You have chosen to carry the pains of the people. And now there is this is a very big plague, a very big scourge that's killing people, and it has come into Nigeria already, and it's fast spreading. So the place of the government cannot be oversized. Number one is that the primary job of every government is to protect its people, and this is the time for you to flex those muscles, protect your people. And obviously, to say the truth, both government at the federal and the state level have done one thing or the other and that should be encouraged, and they should be pats at the back to tell them they are doing well. But more is expected.
To flex your muscle, how will you flex those muscles? Because we need to break it down. Let's give examples. Let's keep our government on their toes this morning so that they can do the right thing. It's about death. It's about life and death. COVID-19 is about life and death, and if we do not manage it properly, we will lose many people. So how do you flex those muscles?
Flexing those muscles, what I was trying to say by that is not as if they will roll out and begin to box people. No, what I'm saying in essence is that they need to bring out policies and bring out ideas that will add value and protect the people. Number one is that, of course, we should have good isolation centers in the state, whether we have in the nation and in the state, whether we have a coronavirus patient or not. We should have good, good isolation centers. We should have trained and qualified personnel who are ready at every point in time for this. And then, of course, if there be a lockdown, the people will eat. So the government should start looking for welfare plans for the people. We have people who are on the daily, as they go out, they can get what to eat that same day and eat, and tomorrow same thing. So if there's a lockdown, obviously they are locked down completely. There's no access for them to make income. At the moment, Kaduna State government are buying bags and bags of foodstuffs to share to people who can't afford to eat. So those are the plans that I think the government should be putting up at the moment. And again, that's what we call placebo injection in medicine. Placebo injection is when somebody, you give somebody an injection, but there's water in it. You just want to give the person the frame of mind that is being treated. Now, you've been hearing that states have been doing lockdowns, shutting their borders, shutting these. And if in your state those things are not happening, it's as if to the masses, as if the government is not doing anything. So I think there's a need for government to take such extra steps to give people confidence that, look, we are working hard to make sure you are protected.
All right. Thank you very much. You've talked about good isolation centers, training. The trained and qualified personnel should be on ground, and welfare packages. We will break it down later on the program and do the analysis of some of those packages, being highlighted by some state governments, and some of the things that some state governments have done, and also the federal government. Now, I promise, in your opinion, what are the responsibility of the government, both the states and the federal state governments and the federal government? Because definitely we will get to a point where there will be total lockdown.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. I want to appreciate my brother, friend, and professional colleague, Irebe Menike, for giving insight into our topic of discourse this morning. The responsibilities of government is one, be it federal, state, local government, even community government, because we have such in place. And vis-a-vis what we are talking about this morning is one, the issue of protection of lives and properties. Lives and properties are the main responsibility as it regards to the world, to what is ravaging the entire world, not just Africa, not just the Middle East, but this is a disease that is ravaging the entire world. And to me, this is high time that the federal government, the state, and the local government give back to the people. And one of that process is suspending all deductions from salaries of workers. To me, if you ask me, that's what I think the federal government, the state, or even the local government should do.
Suspending
all deductions from the salaries of workers, so that they could give workers more purchasing power. They should implement this template in place, because when you do that, you are giving the man, for instance, who working in any of those minutes more purchasing powers. Because I know, of course, as a public servant, I know when salaries are paid, there are some deductions in form of tax that are deducted. So this is high time the government should come up and suspend some of those, at least for now, till when this disease is properly taken care of. That is one. Two, I think the government should sit up. This is not a time for blame game. It's not a time to politicize whatever thing that's going, because this is a disease that knows no political party, to follow the words of the Commissioner for Information in Abia State. It's a disease that knows no big man. It's a disease that knows no poor man. So this is high time we leave issue of party, whether you are in party A or party B. But rather than, if you have any idea, all those money that we have, for instance, now the disease has made it practically impossible that none of our big men can travel outside this country. So all those dollars, most of those money they have in their foreign bank account, what will happen if we don't kill this killer disease? So to me, the protection of life of citizens from the federal to the local government should be of a paramount thing here. We should not politicize it.
Interesting. You talked about suspension of deductions from worker, suspending deductions from workers' salaries and wages, and also talked about not being partisan about the approach. Now, a very big question is, what is the plan for the many millions of daily pay and unemployed people who will be holed up at home for weeks? That's a big one. You talked about the welfare packages. Both of you mentioned something and things to be done for those that receive monthly, that are being paid monthly, talking about wages and salary. What about daily pay workers? What about unemployed people who will be holed up at home for weeks?
Well, we must treat this issue as urgent.
Okay.
By the shutting down of all borders in Rivers State and every other shutting down of the market, a lot of people are already jobless. There are some Abians that feed their family through their buses that fly Aba to Port Harcourt. Since the shutting down, I think it is taking effect from today. Already they will not have
that of Port Harcourt, Rivers State, took effect from yesterday, 6 p.m.
Yeah, from yesterday, 6 p.m. So it's already, you see, those people cannot go anywhere. So what we need to do, that's why I said the government should come in. For instance, there have been suggestions that since the government introduced this issue of bank verification number, I think that platform has made it very easy. Through that same means, the government can still support every Nigerian, every average Nigerian who has a bank account, because it's impossible for you to have a bank account without having a bank verification number. So the government can bring out, let's say, 100 billion. I'm talking about the federal government now. Can bring out, let's say, 100 billion and say every average Nigerian, about 40 million that has BVN, we are sending monthly maybe 10,000 naira into your account so that you can be able to manage with your family. Because this issue, this disease came into the world by, I think, is it ending November last year, and we are already currently in March. It came into Nigeria by March, the first
February,
case.
February.
Okay, by February.
February.
So the government should itemize these packages. How to support? Because already, for instance, in Abia, the governor has directed that salaries should be paid between now and Monday. Who knows the next directive that may be coming from the state government? So that's to me where the government should utilize all these processes they used to stop issue of revenue leakages. Because
I will come back to you, promise. Emenike, what do you think? The daily pay, the unemployed people, it looks like there are no plans for them at this stance now. Many state governments are coming up and say, oh, we're ready to pay salaries. In fact, we've started paying salaries. A press statement was released yesterday through the Office of the Honorable Commissioner for Information, directing that the state governor directed the Minister of Finance to start the payment of salaries. I'm talking about March salaries for this month, just to allow the workers prepare for, the looming lockdown. So, the case of daily workers, some persons make their money on a daily. They don't have. They don't keep money in the bank. They don't have spillover, so just to put it that way. Let's be very practical here. How will they cope?
Let's be very honest with ourselves.
Okay.
We have the problem in our hands. The effect of COVID-19 is not just a health matter; it's also an economic issue. It's killing down most economies at the moment, and most prices of stocks are rapidly coming down very fast. So it's also an economic issue. And secondly, we know the situation of our country at the moment. We have states that are not even able to effectively pay salary. We have even the federal government is even trying to borrow money some time ago to support most of their capital projects. So what we are saying is, at the moment, we have a financial issue even in the country. Sales of crude oil has drastically come down. So our income in this nation has dropped. And if it drops at the federal, it drops at the state, it drops at the local government, it drops everywhere. So I believe that now it's not just about the government. It's about Nigerians. It's about the people. Everybody would have to play a role at this point in time for us to get over this period of COVID-19. What am I saying is this: we have corporate organizations who have millions and millions of dollars in their account. We have individuals who are prominent and very rich. This is the time for them to step out and support the people. This is the time for them to come up and do something. It's not during the election. Some people will come with bag of rice, bag of soup, bag of gari, and give kerosene and blah blah blah. This is the time to come out and support your people. Come out, support the government, bring out funds. We have people who make money on a daily basis to survive. There are in a street, we could have somebody who can meet up to this agenda, who can help people, who can keep people feeding. If you go to the US now, there are already organizations which are providing hands-on for people. Okay, have this to eat, have this to eat, have this to eat. Because the government cannot do everything at this moment. We all know it. We cannot deceive ourselves. Even these are states here now. If they finish paying salary now of workers, remember that even the revenue from the federal government has dropped. And at the moment, even revenue from revenue income from the state also would drop because of this COVID-19. So invariably, the state income also would drop. So if we say the government should feed people at that cadre we're talking about, it might be very difficult to achieve that. But with a combined effort of everybody, if at this moment that the government itself should even open a health platform, I don't mind that. They should open a health platform where somebody like me, somebody like every other person can say, okay, I want to contribute 5, I want to contribute 10, I want to contribute 20, I want to contribute 1 million, I want to contribute 200 million to support our people. That is the only way forward at this moment. If we rely on government, we cannot achieve anything.
Interesting. You're talking about everyone coming to as one to to tackle this issue of monies to be shared to prepare people to survive and welfare packages. Well, it is still the platform right here on Flow 94.9 FM Friday edition. We're taking a look at the responsibility of the government, talking about both the federal government and state government as lockdown looms, and we've gotten suggestions on the program. Good isolation centers, trained and qualified personnel should be readily available welfare packages, talking about everybody coming out together as one, to donate to the less privileged in this society, and also suspension of deduction from workers' salary, and not to play partisan politics with the issue of COVID-19. Promise Uzoma is still very much here. Menike Rebu is very much here. I will open the phone lines now. We want your suggestion. It's a time that we should come with so many suggestions. I'm sure that the appropriate authorities are listening, and a whole lot is to be done right now. When we take calls now, I would like to take you on some of the things that have been done. Some of the policies of the government, how the spread of this virus is being handled by both the federal government and the state government. Lines to reach us this morning, 0808 182 6949, 0811 605 2949. You can also drop messages on 0906 510 8289. Hello, good morning to you. Hello,
good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Thank you. My name is Igonna Eric.
You're welcome.
From here. Yeah, I very much like the suggestion of one of the panelists there. It's true we cannot leave everything in the hands of government, but there must be a way we can find to support the artisan, the poor, the wretched. Remember, Nigeria has the largest number of poor people in the world today. So as much as we are trying to combat coronavirus, the hunger virus is even a bigger one. So let us find a way, both highly spirited individuals, the billionaires, the millionaires, the multi-hundrenaires, and whatever, they must be able to support the federal and state government to be able to bring food, milk, meat, fish, and some other things at various centers, where people can at least be getting daily, weekly support. Because, and again, one thing I don't like is these isolated cases of closing states. Today, Rivers will close. Tomorrow, Abia will close. The next day, Ebonyi. It will not work. Let the government, federal, aggregate it together so that we will know whether we are shutting at the regional level or at national level. Because this Rivers opens or shuts its states for 1 week or 2 weeks, and then federal government now says shut the whole nation for 1 month. That way, their own will be 1 month and 2 weeks. And then how will people survive? Even the salary earners are not fair. Let us aggregate the point together and know the best way possible, and then the support lines and help aspects should be there so that people cannot be dying of hunger in the while you are running away from corona. So let's articulate our points well and take a position as a nation.
All right. Thank you, Ugonna. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello.
You're welcome.
Yes, I am Brother Logger Friday from Isialanga.
You're welcome.
But I'm happy with the topic you are holding. Are you hearing me?
Yes.
Okay. I don't want us to politicize this problem. It's a general problem. And nobody is free, whether rich or poor, whether educated or not, whether old or young. I am supporting what the federal and the state governments are doing. That's what they can do. There's nowhere in the world where government can feed every member of its population. I have never seen that, and I don't think it is possible. But the government in all levels has part to play. And we ourselves, who are citizens being governed, let us be positive in talking and doing every other thing. The state government has its part to play. The federal government has its part to play. There is a way, a place or an area which they have not done better. They need to be corrected. I really concur with this second to the last speaker. But I put it to him that all those who are in government should be first step up to help. Not to give everything for the state government or the federal government. We have so many organizations.
All right, quickly wrap up your thoughts, please.
Billions and trillions of naira. Let them come out this time and help people.
Okay.
Rich people in Abia State are enough to help the population in Abia State. That person speaking there, whether you're a commissioner or you're an elected somebody, by the virtue of the opportunity you have to govern me and the other people in the grassroots, stretch off your hand and show sympathy.
All right.
Don't leave it for government only.
Thank you very much. Your time is up. Thank you. Hello, good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome. Good morning.
Uzoma, good morning, and Ziwuchi.
Emenike Urego. Emenike.
Okay, Emenike Urego. Good morning, Emenike.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, my name is Owakwe Idebere. Yes, about this coronavirus issue that's going to become a global issue. I know that government has their own part to play, and also we who are being governed also have our own part to play. That is one of the reasons why Dr. Bazo gave the order to Finance Commissioner yesterday to pay every civil servant and pensioner their money from today to Monday, so that even if there should be any reason for this country to be locked down, people can be able to have something to eat. I expect federal government to do the same. Not only that, now there are a lot of people who do not have anything free, who are poor. There are a lot of vulnerable people out there. I expect all our rich men, even I expect all the House of Press, House of Assembly, and the Senators, go home. Look for a way to give arms to the people that elected you. It is not time for you to say, I don't care, because the people that sent you to Abuja are now afraid. A lot of them do not even have 3 square meals. It's not one of when the country is being locked down.
All right.
So I expect all of them to come back home and help to caution this effect. Thank you and God bless you.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, good morning to you.
Hello, good morning, Michael. This is Senator. I'm calling from Abama Housing Estate.
You're welcome, Senator.
Good morning to the gentleman in the building.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, this coronavirus issue is now in world scale. It's not something that has to do with Adia or Imo or inside Nigeria alone. What I do not like about this issue is that certain people are trying to politicize it. People will come and tell you what they think one person or the other person has done about whatever, but as it is, it's not what we should be talking about. Nigeria's population as at 2006 or so, we were about 200 million. And right now, I think we're about 300 million. And that then, 1 billion naira would be enough to go every Nigerian 5,000 naira with that large population. You cannot tell me that our federal government cannot budget 3 billion at least to be able to give to Nigerians at least 5,000 or 6,000 just to be able to hold themselves. It would not do anything, but at least that would just go a little to be able to help Nigerians. This nation, normally we are suffering, but as it is right now, Nigerians need somewhere to fall on. It's something that has to do with Nigerians alone. And people should stop taking these things political.
All right.
People are taking this so, and it should not be so.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. On the SMS line, Ube from Umuahia says, let's see. It is now time for the government to show us that they have us in mind. Okay. Coronavirus knows nobody. Okay. Okeze and his team should be quarantined for safety of Abians. Honorable John from Obingwa. Good morning, guys. I commend what Dominica is saying by flexing of muscles on our leaders during election day. What their co-politicians in terms of sharing domestic items to come up with being the best to convince the people, so that let them use that, their foundations and the NGOs, to reach out to the people as preventive measure to stop the spread of COVID-19. Onyi Boy from Umohu and Dume. All right. Okay, let's see. Of the truth, we are not ready. What happens to daily earners, the petty traders? Okay, they from Umuahia. All right, those are the messages. Keep them coming. Now, let's talk about some of the policies of the government and what the government is doing. Promise said something a couple of minutes ago that the government owes us the primary responsibility of keeping, lives and properties safely. Now, the way federal government is handling this, do you think it's been commendable? We can commend the federal government and some state governments too, like Lagos, where it is the most hit state, 44 cases as of last night, 8:35 p.m. And some other states too. We've had a total lockdown in Rivers State, Lagos State also, and some other states reported 1 case each. So the handling by the federal government, is it commendable?
Well, it's very much commendable if you ask me, because the federal government has not followed the issue haphazardly. They have been very proactive, applying proactive measures to tackle this pandemic.
Okay.
Why Lagos is that flashpoint was, most international flights arrives through Lagos, Moramaya International Airport. And if you see what is happening there, you discover that some of the equipment and intervention of the Lagos state government, as we read on news and see on social media, has been very, very commendable. I think yesterday the Nigeria Center for Disease Control told us that about 6 persons have been...
maybe unconfirmed number will be released, but as of yesterday, it's 35, 3 persons have been discharged. That's the official figure.
Okay, 3 persons have been discharged. Okay, that shows you that the government is proactively handling this pandemic disease. And the federal government, like, you may not like the decision of the state government there in Rivers State, but I think that, like the day that suspicion of that index case in Rivers State came, the governor closed the border immediately. But when
he closed it just a few hours before
he reopened
the index case.
In fact, the governor went to an extent of sacking the general manager of the state-owned Tide newspaper for over the report, because that day it was not yet a confirmed case, but the Tide already reported that such a case has happened in Rivers State. So when you check most of these issues, like in Abia State here, you must appreciate the government. In this kind of case, the government, both at the federal and state, are showing capacity. There have not been any state in the entire federation where I would say the government has not tried their best to curtail this disease. Even states that have not that has no case or no record of that disease are putting things in place.
Okay.
And Michael, excuse me,
yes,
you have a situation where most of these states are being directed not to procure most of those testing kits because of the faking of those testing kits by manufacturers in Nigeria. And that is why some people who don't have this information will begin to attack the state government. Why is it like in the whole entire Southeast, there's no place you can find that testing kit? In South, you only have there in Orwa, in Edo State, because of the directive of the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. So if, like for instance in Abia, I've heard the governor said, we are willing to buy, but they are being limited by the federal government directive through NCDC.
You heard what Promise said, Emenike. Do you agree with him? He commended the federal government and also the state government, including Abia State, in its effort in curtailing the spread of this virus in Nigeria.
Yes, completely agree with him, because this is not something that anyone planned for. Nobody sat down and said coronavirus is coming in 2020, so let us prepare ourselves ahead of time. So everything you see them doing now is instantaneous. It's decisions that have to be taken rapidly. It's not always very easy. And then you must know that a state governor or the federal government is battling with the economy, how to sustain the economy, and also how to fight this pandemic. You cannot just shut the country down immediately like that. When you shut it down, everything shuts down too.
Emenike, the government has been criticized for not closing the borders immediately. Before now, we had cases just before those borders, both the air, the land, and the sea borders were closed.
Yes, and that's rightly what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about is that it is not always easy to close borders. It's a country. Your borders are not just something you just stand up and close. In terms of a country, you have bilateral agreements with people. You have international treaty with other countries. You have so many understanding with different nations.
So, which is more important, the lives you're protecting, or the bilateral agreements?
It's not. Only get this point right.
Okay.
For every state to even be able to fight any form of disease, the state must first survive. Because if this state now if this country is completely broke, then we'll have a problem even fighting the disease. So every government will first balance its decisions. Look at, have we gotten this as this disease step into this country? If not, let us watch. Let's set up every parameter to make sure it doesn't come in. You must not just, closing borders are not easily done. Go all over the world, even America, that got to know about this long ago. He couldn't close his border immediately. He had to take over time, gradually, before he started taking decisions. And up to now, they are still struggling with it. Even recently, Trump was even talking about opening up places for business to roll.
Secrecy. And as it stands now, the federal government is yet to come out to say, well, Abba Kyari, although he has been reported as positive to COVID-19, but that has not been confirmed by the presidency. It has neither been denied by the presidency. So the secrecy now, as it stands now, has also been condemned. The secrecy, talking about the presidency coming out to say, well, maybe 3 aides and the names of those that have contracted that virus at the presidential.
Yes. I must strongly say that there's a need for the government, both at the federal and the state level, to be more open. We have a lot of senators who are at the moment quarantining themselves, who can't even make it open. We have a lot of governors who are also in self-isolation, who cannot make it open. So it's not just about the federal government. We have a problem in Nigeria about releasing information and communicating with your citizenry. That's a very big problem we have. So there's a need for us, if we indeed want to fight this disease, for us to be more open, so that our people will be more informed and take more informed decisions.
Okay, interesting.
Well, yeah. Mike, I just want to make one sentence there. Okay. You discover the way the European countries react to news is not the same way the African countries react to news.
In what way?
In a way that negative news tends to bring blames, cause, rather than profiling solutions. In the foregoing, like the chief of staff to the president, I think I heard the convener of Revolution Now saying that he has received the intelligence that they are planning to arrest him for releasing exclusive of that story that the chief of staff tested positive to coronavirus. Now, the government, like yesterday, I had the senior special assistant on media to the president releasing picture that the president was in his office in Aso Rock late in the night. So the way we react to news, of course, medically, I'm not a medical doctor, but I'm aware that there is an oath binding this medical professional not to go so open Like the index case in River State, we don't know the name of that 90-year-old.
Is this
mother.
oath not available in other countries abroad?
That
where
is that.
where this
that
same
is
oath of
that
medical
is why I'm
secrecy,
saying that the way those
they
people,
still say they call names.
the way those people react to this. For instance, my brother, if somebody has HIV/AIDS and you test positive, just consider the stigmatization you are going to face in your own immediate family. I'm not talking about the public. In your own immediate family, in fact, they will isolate you in a way that as if you're already
just
declare
during
you
the start of the program, I coughed and
Yeah.
you moved. The both of you moved back.
Ask Emenike, why didn't you swallow the droplets from the
That's a whole different issue.
No, but it's the same thing.
The point is that I
Yes.
believe that this coronavirus issue, there is a world standard at which things are being handled.
Okay.
World over today, even when the top administrative
Prince
leaders
Charles
in Iran were affected, it was made known. Even when one of them died, it was made known.
I think-
Hold on. When Prince Charles also was affected, it was made known. So these things, that's to make you know that even sometimes this making people know about it helps everybody understand the risk involved in this.
Okay, I would like us to touch the legislative angle just before I open the lines again. But the secrecy too. Another thing some people are clamoring for is daily update by our president. They want the president to come out in public and talk to us on a daily. Ghana is doing it. Some other countries in Africa are doing it. So why can't President Muhammadu Buhari come out on a daily to address Nigerians?
Yes, on that actually, I do not see, it's not cast on stone that the president must come out every day to give report on this. If he has set up a committee that is handling it and they are doing that same thing of giving reports to Nigerians and they are doing it efficiently, it mustn't be the president. Any president can decide to do it, another president can decide not to do it.
But it comes, some persons will ask, that assurance you get when you see your leader, probably your father, talking to you and say, well, we have this situation at our in control.
Michael,
there is this kind of assurance it comes with.
Michael,
yes, promise.
You know, like Emenike have said, for instance, in our locality here in Abia, the government have set up a committee. And daily, let's just say daily, you see briefings. It's through the committee that you heard that the state government is well prepared through the committee. So the governor or the president don't need to come and start making public. Of course, they have made.
Except
Except they chooses to. When that committee, it is the responsibility because they have terms of reference which they take briefs from the governor, they convey to the public. So when we on that issue, the other issue of secrecy, remember, Bauchi State Governor came out to confirm that he tested positive. Atiku came out to confirm that his son tested positive. The deputy governor of Edo State came out to confirm that the speaker of Edo State of Assembly tested positive. So
the governor is on isolation.
Someone is on the line. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Michael.
You're welcome, Coach Joy.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Good morning with your colleague there. Good morning. See, I want to start by, in the measures that the government have provided, like civil servants, in office where they are like 100, can they cut it down to 50? These people will come to work today, the other people will come to work the other day, the other 50, so that we will not have crowded offices. Do you understand? And I want to call on all our, like you people have, narrated. Let these people that have money, let them come up now to utilize their wealth on the masses. Because this is the time. If you don't do it, maybe if Corona comes, you will not let go. Something like that. But when you come out and give your humanitarian services to people, God will make it not to come near you. That's my belief.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach Joy. Keep your calls coming. Keep your messages coming. Hello. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Mr. Mike, gentlemen in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
What I want to say is that
you didn't mention your name, please.
Okay, my name is Felix. I'm calling from Mumbai.
Welcome.
It's good enough to ask the government to do something for the people in this period. What about ourselves? If you're going to the market to buy things for a family,
fight for your neighbor. You know the financial strength of your neighbor. Help your neighbor first. As you are bringing money out for your family, give to your neighbor. Let us start from there. Then, from 2023, you shall know the decisions we vote for. Because as you are campaigning, we will ask you, what did you do during the coronavirus saga? What did you do? That is what we're going to use for 2023. Allow them. We know all of them. We have seen all of them. So they campaign and campaign. At the end of the day, they will do nothing. This period will show us who will.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you for your contribution. Hello, good morning to you. Yes. All right, I will have to let you go because of the reception there. Now, quickly, we have less than 3 minutes to wrap up things here. But let's look at the legislative angle. What our legislators should do, both at the federal level, talking about the House of Representatives, and also the Senate too. That's talking about the red chambers, and also the houses of assembly here in Nigeria. Promise.
Well, thank you very much, Michael. As you all know, that a few days ago, the House of Representatives passed a bill called the Emergency Economic Stimulus Bill 2020, a bill for an act to provide for relief on corporate tax liability. I've perused through that bill, and I discovered the bill has to do with reduction in deductions and stoppages of several import tariffs. For instance, medical items. The bill seeks to remove all those import duties paid by this for these materials, so that between now and December 31st, this equipment, this medical equipment that is presently needed in Nigeria, can be assessed. You have a situation where prices of hand sanitizers that used to be 300 are now being sold at 1,500 naira. So the House of Reps have come up with this bill to be able to take care of some of these issues, and we must appreciate them if that bill is signed into law anymore.
All right, Emenike.
I think they should step up more. Like a House of Assembly here in Abia State, they should step up more. They should go outside and actually be able to look at how things are working. They should come out from their comfort zone. They should go and actually see how Abians are faring outside, have a first-hand view of what's happening. Are Abians complying with decisions of the government? What are Abians doing? How are Abians suffering? They should also on their own look at how to contribute, to add to the value and support of the less privileged. And in Abia now, our House members can say, okay, each person can say, I'm supporting with 200,000, and it's aggregated, and we say, okay, we'll open a helpline where people can come and assess 1,000, 10,000 support from. They too can do it. It's not about coming to talk. We love their talking. In fact, the laws and their supports are good, but the people need to feel their impact also.
Okay, on the SMS line, Onyemo from Umuahia says everything in Nigeria is underreported. Italy lockdown, still they died like chicken. Okay, how many times has Okezekwazu addressed Abians? That's coming from Jane in Aba. The Abia State government should stop collecting daily tickets from keke riders and buses and drivers in order to enable them abide by the directives of 2 in keke and 5 in bus. Uche from Aba. Okay, the withhold checkoff dues and contributions by Abia State government should be released to MDAs. Comrade Oko from Umuahia. Conor McGregor, okay, the UFC fighter, donated £1 million to his country. The amount that non-billionaires are donating here leaves much to be desired. Ugonna. All right, thank you very much for your messages, for your calls on this program. Don't forget, we are still tracking events here in Nigeria as far as COVID-19 is concerned. It's a pandemic, it's a global emergency, and of course all hands must be on deck. We will be back 12:30 for COVID-19 update, but keep your dial locked on here on Flow 94.9 FM. Many thanks to Emenike Urebu, the publisher of AFN News and also a public affairs analyst. Thank you very much for your analysis here this morning on the program.
Thank you.
Promise Uzoma, the publisher of PUO Reporter, journalist, and also a media aide to the Speaker of the Abia State House of Assembly. Thank you very much for being part of the program this morning.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Adequate protective and survival measures must be put in place now, and the government must be held totally accountable for that. Thank you very much for being part of the program this morning. Many thanks to the producer, Samson Eze. This edition of the program will be live later today on our Facebook page, on our YouTube page, www.youtube.com/FlowFM TV. Do enjoy the rest of your day.